Alright, testing. Okay, I'm just testing my audio. Okay, sounds good on my end. So, I think I just want to kind of continue where I left off with this Pong game. I'm honestly not entirely sure what I'm gonna do, but I guess we'll just kind of start wherever. Oh, how's it going, Newt? It's been a while since I've streamed, but I figured it would be a good idea to just get something worked on, you know. Spend some time learning, and especially C++. It's been way too long. I'm tired, man. I'm always tired, but yeah. Alright. What's up? How's it going, guys? Hopefully this stream isn't too boring. Right now I'm just working on the position class so that we can kind of keep track of the ball. Going good, what about you? Doing good. I always pick the worst times of streams, I feel, like right when I'm like tired, but I'm also motivated, you know? But yeah, I don't know, I feel like it's been so weird, like learning to program still, despite, you know, I mean, I feel like so much of everything is AI nowadays, but I think it's fun to like program for fun, you know? Word, is AI even good at coding? It's decent at certain things for sure. I think that I use it in work a lot, and it's good when you can be specific, like for planning stuff and certain tasks. Like I think that it can do a good job there, but it definitely just depends on the scenario. Is it good for optimization? You know, I would say it's not really good for architecting unless, I don't know, I feel like if you know what you're doing, you can make it do pretty decent work, but like I said, it's non-deterministic, so it won't always be the same. Game context may be too large for it, so probably having expertise in it as pairing with AI will be good for it. Yeah, I think when making a game, I think that the only way I would use AI is to like figure out certain systems. So like, if I wanted to figure out how to make an enemy AI that is complex, I would probably break it down with using AI into really small pieces to understand it. So I'd use it as like a glorified search engine more than anything. Oh man, see, like even this autocomplete is not right. I drink coffee. I don't. I drink soda here and there. But yeah, I don't drink coffee. I know, you could probably tell I'm, like, tired. I need caffeine. Actually, I think I got vitamin water. So, I'll drink some of that. It's pretty good. It's good stuff. Alright. So I'm trying to think about this. So we're going to have our meters from pixels function down here. And this will... Well, we'll just do that for now. We'll just have the definition here. I think, okay, I'm understanding now, I think, how we're gonna do this. Just stretch a bit. That's a good idea. Maybe do some push-ups will help. That always wakes me up, honestly. I actually think I'm gonna do some push-ups really quick. One sec. That'll wake me up a little. Alright, I'm back. Oh, I'm gonna turn this light off. I got some push-ups in. Alright. So I'm kind of looking at this code from one of my other projects, the position class, and I'm kind of just trying to see what I can take from here, because essentially this uses a position it uses meters, and then we can convert that to pixels so we can keep track of the correct position on screen. Alright. I actually think we should use float because OpenGL uses float for basically everything. Yeah, I'm just gonna put this on the side. And then we have our setters, and then we have our add functions, which will basically float for time. Okay, and I think that honestly should be it for the header file. Pretty straightforward. I guess actually we do need 2 helper functions. And zoom will be for scaling, essentially. Okay, that's a good setup, I think. Dang, I've got 11 people in here. What's up, guys? If you guys want to see what I'm making right now, I am making Pong. So, it's super simple, as you can see here. Right now I'm making the physics classes, so this position that I'm doing right now is this position you can see right here. So the ball, you can see it moving. It's keeping track of its position in meters, and then we convert that to pixels essentially, which I think that's just a easier way for me to understand, so we can keep track of it and maybe have some telemetry if we need it. But yeah. The goal is super simple, but I'm just kind of building it out right now in C++. But yeah, I'm kind of just building out all the physics files first. So velocity, let's see, actually we need to do this first. Public, private, and then velocity uses dx and dy, and this is our horizontal velocity. And then this is our vertical velocity. So these are the 2 data types essentially that, but I honestly think I'm gonna use, I can use a double, I guess that's fine. If I need to, I'll change it to a float later. And right now what I'm doing is making a default constructor. So essentially saying, hey, when we initialize or start the game, the default value of our velocity will start at 0. And obviously that'll update. But these different constructors are really good for when we have different functionality in different parts. So there might be some places we want to construct a velocity in a different way. Which is very convenient. So I guess you could have copy constructors, you could have assignment operators, you could have non-default constructors. So you can have like a non-default, which could be like a random velocity that you want to pick. So yeah, there's lots of stuff behind constructors for sure. But right now I'm just doing the very bare minimum of like what we can have here. And this one basically says instead of setting it to 0, we set it to the value that it owns, so dy and dx. We use the parameters that we define here. And that's when we would use our getters or setters in the actual methods. Yeah, so let's see. Yeah, this is where we have our getters, setters, and then add. Very similar to position. A lot of these are actually super simple, which is nice. This is get dx, and with getters you always want to make them constant because you always want to have the same, you don't want the value changing when you get it. And a constant essentially ensures that the value will remain the same as when you get it, the initial value essentially. And then we actually need a speed variable here, so get speed will essentially take, well, this will just be a constant for now, and then we'll go in our source file and fix that. In our setters, we'll have a set dx, and then this takes our double dx, and then we calculate, we essentially say this dx is equal to dx, which means we're assigning the value dx to the same one that's defined here. So we're using that function's variable and assigning that. I guess I can't think of the right way to explain that, but it's saying that it owns that variable essentially, and you're saying that we have our dx and dy, and we're setting them up like we're assigning the values to the defaults. And I'm totally probably botching that explanation, but it's been a while since I've even worked in C++, low-key. Okay, so those are setters, and then we have an add as well, so this will just take a, sorry, not a velocity. This is where we would add our horizontal velocity, and then we would do this is equal to dx. Actually, yeah, plus equals. And this actually needs to be dx right here. How's everybody doing? You guys see stream okay? Also, why the heck do we have 26 people in here? That's crazy. I don't know if I've ever had this many concurrent viewers. Maybe I need to refresh. No, it says 28. That's crazy. Welcome to the stream, guys. I'm not using AI here. I'm just doing plain old C++. I'm making Pong, so if you guys are new here, what I'm doing right now is building Pong in C++ using OpenGL, which is a graphics framework. And right now I'm using basic object-oriented programming to create classes to define each object. So we can have a position object essentially, which we can assign a position to, let's say, the ball. We can create a ball object and create a position that we can assign to that. So a constructor, like we were talking about earlier, we can give that ball a position constructor that we would pass in for the position, and we could just set it to like whatever the ball's position is at the time, which that's when we would pass in a dx and a dy. But then the goal is to basically get to 10. And we have a bunch of classes here. So if we go to this UML that I made, we have a position. We have an acceleration, which that's mainly going to be used for the ball. It might not be needed, honestly. But I got the acceleration, and then I got a velocity, which we will use for speed. So if the ball hits a certain angle or is in a certain threshold, we can speed up the ball. And then we have the ball itself, which has a position, velocity, and an acceleration. So it'll basically have a method called bounce that will calculate all of that, all the physics relating there. And then we have an angle as well, and our angle essentially will tell us what direction the ball will go in. The angle might not necessarily be needed right now, but it'll be very helpful when we're trying to debug and figure out, how to get that ball passed at a certain angle and keep track of that. Like basically saying if we have an angle, we could calculate, hey, if it's greater than 90 degrees or whatever, we can add a velocity, or we can change the velocity. Essentially, when we have all these different components, we can update different ones. So I'd say that we have our main component, which is like, the ball and the paddle. So literally the paddle is like controlled by the user. It doesn't really have like a speed per se. It goes off of the speed of what the mouse is. So we'll have a mouse input that'll have a speed, and that will change the position of the paddle. The big thing will be getting the paddle to be locked in place. So we'll have essentially a barrier of some kind to which we'll set we'll set like a y coordinate for the position, but not an x. So it'll move on the y coordinate, but not the y axis, but not the x axis. Also, 35 people in here is crazy. Welcome to the stream, guys. I'm building Pong in C++ and OpenGL. If you guys want to join the Discord, feel free. It's in the description, and yeah, feel free to just hang out and ask questions if you have them. But the big thing here is we have all of these classes working together to make up a whole game. And Pong is like one of the very easy examples of like, a really simple game, but when you introduce classes or object-oriented programming, it can be a little more complex in some levels because you're looking at how all the classes are connecting. But overall, it's a lot more concise, I think. It just depends on what you like. I think there's different paradigms of programming that you can pick, like functional. What are the other types? Paradigms, programming. There's one I'm trying to remember. Imperative, declarative, basically are those two paradigms, which, yeah, imperative uses OOP, and that uses explicit steps, or it uses explicit sequential steps, and declarative uses more of like a control flow, so how things flow in more of an order. But yeah, it's interesting. I don't think I've ever had this many people in my stream at one time. I know you're hanging out in here. Have you ever seen this many people in here? 30, 35 people. 36 actually. Is quite a lot. Let's see if I can get to 350 tonight. That would be amazing. Feel free to subscribe if you guys are new. I try and just stream on the weekends right now. I got a full-time job. I'm a full-stack developer. I'm a junior. I just started out in the field, and I've been working in the field for like 4 months now, and it's been great. It's not C++, it's, you know, React and web development, which is a lot different. But I like to take what I learned from my C++ learnings and apply it in my web dev as well. I think there's just a lot you can get from knowing architecture and breaking down a program into different parts, you know? Like even taking like a simple class and breaking it down is really nice. But some people don't like OOP, and that's fair. It can get super messy in bigger programs, but in a program like this, it's perfect because we just got a handful of classes, like maybe 10 or so, that we can use to make the whole program. We're almost at 40 people. That's crazy. Anyways, I'm gonna quit yapping and I'll just keep coding a little bit. So now our velocity is done, and next we need to do, let's see, we did position. I think an angle would be good. The acceleration would probably be good right now, because that's going to relate to the acceleration of the ball. And an acceleration essentially, it's kind of like a velocity. We use a ddx and a ddy, and that has a horizontal acceleration and a vertical one. And it's literally just so similar. It's basically the same thing. And you can see here, I've already kind of started these, but yeah. Welcome to the stream, guys. Anyways, I'm gonna just do my thing. You guys can hang out if you want. I'm not gonna worry too much about all the people in here. It's kind of crazy. I don't really stream for like, I just do it for fun and for learning, like when I'm trying to learn. And I figured using YouTube as a platform to like kind of get myself motivated was a good idea for me, and it worked really well. I mean, before I got my job, I was streaming like almost every day for like 4 months. You know, on and off, of course, but it was one of my favorite times, and I would love to get back to it. Let's see, that's our getters. Our setters are gonna just be super similar. I would say too, a lot of people come into these streams and ask, hey, should I learn programming? Should I use AI? I would say my biggest piece of advice is it's not about learning using AI or not. It's about learning in general. You can use AI and still learn, but my personal experience with AI is it can shortcut your learning if you're not careful. I think for me personally, it kind of took away the satisfaction of like finding those answers on my own, and I think that that's a really important part of learning, especially as developers, is like we want to solve the problem, and you know, having the answers in front of us that we don't even have to think about can be really dangerous. So like, I'm not saying don't use AI. There's certain cases where I think it can be so useful. Just be, if your goal is to learn, be very cautious. That's my advice. I mean, even like the autocomplete here, it's super nice for saving time on certain little things, but you just gotta double check your work, you know, make sure you know how to read code, make sure you know what is happening. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Yeah. Alright, and then this, I'm just gonna mark this as horizontal. Vertical There's 45 people in here. That's awesome, dude. Okay, next we have, which I'm going to go back and do the source files as well, but I'm just doing the headers for now since it's just the definitions. Next is angle, though. Angle is more complicated because we have degrees and radians, which are two separate angle types, I guess you could say. They're different metrics. And we want to be able to convert between the two for certain use cases. I would say radians are more accurate for if you want a very accurate angle, and then degrees are like a very basic, like those are what you would want to show on screen. You know, like, hey, this is 90 degrees, whereas radians would do the actual calculation. But yeah. But yeah, if you guys are also new in the channel, feel free to read the description on the video. I have a little summary of who I am and kind of what I'm doing. I probably need to update it, honestly. And then I also have a Discord. If it's not working in the description, let me know, but it should be. And yeah. So with an angle, the unit that we're using is gonna be radians, essentially. So we'll have a radians variable here. We'll initialize it there, but then we're gonna have some private methods that we'll have to convert to degrees. And then one to convert to radians from degrees. So when we wanted to convert 2 degrees, we'll essentially say double convert to degrees, and this will take our radians. And then we can just do a simple like inline kind of, not inline, but simple one-liner. And then we'll return our radians because we need to return a double of some kind. And then this will be 180 divided by mpi. And mpi is essentially our math library that uses, it's pi essentially, but we use the C math library to calculate that. And yeah. Let's see, yeah, that's how we would want to convert to degrees. Oh, I think let's see. Oh, I need to put 180 in this parenthesis. That's right. Okay, and then we have convert radians from degrees. And this would be double convert 2 radians. And this will take a degree. And this will do a very similar thing. It's just kind of the opposite calculation-wise. And then this will return degrees times mpi. Sorry guys, I know my typing is terrible. And this will be divided by 180. Like that. So now we have 2 convert functions. Now the last step here is we need to normalize it. So we need to be able to normalize our radians. So this will just be another simple methods. Normalize, and this will take radians. And then this will be a little bit bigger of a method. So we'll do that in the source file, but we'll also want to make it constant, which honestly, yeah, these need to be constant as well, because if we're converting it, we want the value to remain that constant. But yeah, let's see. Now I can start on the constructor and all that. We have 55 people, dude. What the heck? You know, it's funny because I'll have like 5 people in here and they'll be chatting it up. But now I have 55 and none of you guys are talking in the chat. Come on, guys. I like talking to people. Don't tell me you guys are all bots. I'm just kidding. I'm joking. No, if you guys are here though, feel free to chat, and I'd love to hear how you guys are doing. Meet some of you guys. So, okay, with an angle, we want to construct it, so we basically want to make sure that with an angle, we can just set our default constructor to 0. So we'll just set that to radians is equal to 0.0. And then we'll have a non-default as well. Well, and we'll have a copy constructor, I'm thinking, so. It's been a while since I've really written much C++, so I'm a little rusty. And this will be a radians constructor, so, or degrees, I mean. So if we want to construct in degrees, we can do that. Which, this is where we would set our degrees. I'm going to need the setter for that, and then we would pass in the degrees here. But yeah, let's see, we need our getters. You know, I would say that this type of programming might not be conventional nowadays for what I'm doing. Oh yeah, for an angle we need to be able to have our directions as well. So we need to be able to set what is up, what is down, what is left, what is right. And then we can use that. And then we have an add method as well. And yeah, we can go through that. I think the first thing is the getter. Let me check the chat. 61 people, dude. Can you guys hear me okay, by the way? And how's the music? Anybody in here, can someone, one of you 61 people, confirm the audio and tell me if it's good right now? 66? What the heck? Okay, anyways, audio's good. Thanks, Nate. I'm just a little, like, distracted. I don't know where all these, like, people are coming from. It's so funny. The weird part is no one's talking, though. Yeah, that's correct. I'm so bad at typing right now. Alright. So those are our getters, and then now we have our setters, which are void. These basically take a degree or radians, and we set them. We assign them a value. So, or I guess we'd say return. Or no. Yeah, this is where we'd have our normalize. So is equal to normalize. Convert to radians, and then this is where we would pass our degrees. Alright. Kind of a weird, funky method, or setter, I guess. And then we have our radians, which takes our double radians. And the nice part about radians is that I feel like they're a lot simpler. And then this is where we just essentially take we use this, take the object's value, and then we normalize it, and then we pass radians. Okay, looks good. And then we have all of our directions, which is fun. So we have set up. And then this is really easy. It's nice because we can just set a constant here. So an up is equal to 0. Right. Then we say radians equals mpi. And then left, we say radians equals mpi times 2. Actually, let me think. No, because right would actually be mpi times 0.5. I'll just say 0.5, yeah. And then up 0, down. I guess we need to do void set down. Down would be mpi. And then left would be 1.5, not 2. I like to line up my curly braces. I don't know, it just makes it a little more readable in my opinion. I know it's kind of weird, but there we go. And then, oh, we need a reverse as well. I'll tell you guys, math is not my strong suit. So, some of this could be off, but for now, it's good. What the heck? How do we have 70 people? Why does the account keep going up? That's so funny. Newt, do you think these people are real? I seriously can't believe there's this many viewers. I feel like YouTube is bugging out. Let me check my phone. Maybe it's different. No, it says 71 on my phone. 74 now. Wow. Okay. With add. With add, we're gonna need. Yeah. Add, we're gonna take the angle, and then we're gonna have a delta. Let's see. What's up, Chica? How's it going? Apparently we have 71 people in the stream right now, which is more than I've ever had of anybody like watching the stream before. I don't know if it's glitching out on my end or what's happening, but it's kind of weirding me out a little bit. Just came from On Call Duty. Man, how's that going? Also, thank you for jumping in the stream. Appreciate it. You know it's not good when I got a call at midnight local time. Oh dear. Yeah, that does not sound fun. I'm sorry. I don't think I could ever be an on-call engineer. I mean, I probably could, but it does not sound fun at all. Okay, I think that's good for angle. Angle's kind of complicated because we have to do a lot of math here, which is so fun. We all love math, don't we? Deployment server decided it did not want to work anymore. Now I'm trying not to wake my wife up. Oh man. That sucks. I feel like with my work, I feel like something's always breaking on the server. Like, I feel like GCP or AWS, like, whatever we're using is always down. Or something goes wrong. Like, we have a system for, like, linting, you know, and formatting, and sometimes stuff will just fail because there's an extra parenthesis. You know, simple stuff like that just always throws off all the tests. Let's see, okay. Now I need to think about these different game classes. So we kind of got all the... Well, I mean, obviously I need to go through and do the source files and fill up all the methods, but after that I have user input, and I'm going to need... Yeah, we're going to need the mouse callback and scroll callback, because that's going to be what we're going to have here for... I mean... The controls are basically just like super easy. 75 viewers, but likes and subs staying constant. It's weird. Yeah, I don't think that. I think it's lying, honestly. Like, it's gotta be incorrect, because I feel like there would be 75, like, even, like, there would be, like, 10 people chatting, you know, typically, at least what I've seen in streams. So I'm guessing there's a bug, or there's something weird with the server, because there's no shot there's 70 people in here. And it keeps going up, which is weird. Like, usually you drop viewers, you know? So I'm a little suspicious of what's happening. But yeah. I'm wondering... I need to figure out what constant speed to make the paddle here. Electron, what's going on? I don't know. I just joined the stream too. I just joined the stream, so... No, yeah, I feel like there's definitely a ton of real people in here. I just am wondering how there's 80 people. It's so weird. It might be drive-by viewers. I guess. Possibly, yeah. I'm just weird. It's weird because I have not seen, like, significant drops. Like, I feel like it just goes up, like, 2 at a time, and then it doesn't drop at all, you know? But anybody that is in here that's real, feel free to sub and also join the Discord. We got a great little community of developers and just people, and it's been really fun. Like, honestly, on the days that I haven't been streaming, it's fun to still, like, check in on my Discord and see what people are building. I feel like... it might just be imposter syndrome, but I feel like everybody in my Discord is so much more skilled, which is awesome, you know? Like, I feel like I'm very bare bones with my programming skills, so... it drops, but it increases more than the drops. Yeah, I have no idea. Like, I promised you guys I'm not botting or anything. It's so weird. I am getting pretty tired. I'll probably end stream in a couple minutes, but I'll hang out for a few minutes and kind of... I think, so with all these different parts, we have a ball, a barrier, a paddle. The barrier might not even be really necessary. It'll be more of like, when we initialize the game, we're just going to draw it in the main file or whatever, or we'll draw it in wherever our vertex, our meshes are. Yeah. Yeah, we're at 81 now, which is so strange. I have no idea. How's everybody's weekend been? I feel like realistically there's like 5 real people in here. Let me just say this. Whoever is real right now, just type in the chat. And then we can kind of see who... We can gauge how many people are actually in here. Stressful. Exams are coming up for me. Are you doing software engineering or like computer science? Because I remember those days. It's not fun. Pretty good, not gonna lie. The time is going by so fast. Semester about to start up again, and I just finished the summer semester. Nice, awesome, guys. Sounds like a lot of people are in school right now in here, so that's great. I kind of miss school sometimes. Like, I miss the learning aspect. I think I really want to get in a schedule of learning again. Because I feel like I'm still kind of... I'm holding myself back, you know? There's a lot of things I could be learning by just taking the time to learn it, but... It takes a long time to really solidify concepts, you know? Maths, actually, but I do so much extra. Yeah. Yeah, I'm gonna be honest with you, math is like my weakest subject. I honestly like could benefit from like a Khan Academy math course or something. I could benefit from like just taking like a summer math like course or something to kind of get me refreshed on it, because man, it's hard. But yeah. So I think when we come back next stream, I'm gonna fill out these source files, and we'll kind of get a good gauge of. I mean, you can see here I made like little bars here. I think it'd be good to like make a little barrier that we can just render in. Because I mean, the nice thing about these textures is we just give them a vertex. Like we can assign them a simple vertex and then assign a texture to it, you know, a set of coordinates essentially. We have our texture coordinates and then our position coordinates as well. But yeah, I'll show you guys one project I did work on though. Let's see if I can get this working. Actually, this one won't load here. Let me pull it up. So if you guys are new here too, one of the things I worked on my last project on stream was this solar system simulator. So I did this in OpenGL. You can see it renders all the planets in an orbit. It's super simple. It took me a while, and it was like I drew all these sprites by hand as well, but like you can see the sun literally looks like cheese. It's kind of it's so bad, but it was really fun, honestly. I'm proud of this project for sure, because I feel like I put in a lot of time to learn it. But I'm always so intimidated by OpenGL and in general graphics code, and I'm always just so confused. Yeah, you know, honestly, the biggest thing. Let me pull up that project again. The biggest thing with graphic stuff is, you know, if you can create meshes, it makes everything so much easier. So, like, for example, a mesh is essentially, it takes all the basic setup, and then we can draw stuff using our textures and our coordinates. And I used a factory as well for these planets. So I use this design pattern here to, you know, take all of our planets and use a shared pointer among them, and use a path to the file, and then the path, or essentially the texture, and then, you know, we can go through all of this data and push it back essentially from the JSON file here, and we can just draw a planet using that. And I think when you can learn how to use systems like that, graphics programming becomes simpler. But like literally, let me find it. This basic 3D program right here, like you can see here, this is literally just looking at a light cube in a 3D environment. This thing took freaking forever to just make all this. I mean, you can see it's all rendered, but look at, you need all of this is just the coordinates for one square. I mean, there's so much data for one thing, and that's why you need a mesh. You know, that's why you need something that can generate like a 3D object into vertices for you, so that you don't have to worry about defining them by hand, you know? You make it once and then you don't have to worry about it. But yeah, I don't miss any of that, trust me. I mean, that's part of OpenGL that I don't care for, but yeah. Anyways, I appreciate you guys being here. Electron, I don't know if I've seen you in the stream before, but feel free to join the Discord if you want to keep chatting. We got some fun people in here, and obviously sub if you feel like it. I'm not super active, like I'm not a daily streamer. I usually stream like on the weekends if I can. But it's just fun to kind of stream when I can and just learn, you know, on the side. But yeah, I feel like I picked the hardest thing for learning, that's for sure. Like, one of the hardest. You know, if I went to Vulcan, I feel like I'd be even more confused. But that's gonna do it for today's stream, guys. I'm just gonna go and spend time with my family, and we can do more streams another time. We'll see. But please join the Discord. And yeah, I'll talk to you guys later. See ya.